A reminder, recording press conference video is prohibited. Please provide your name and media affiliation each time you ask a question during the press conference. We'll have 2 mic runners in the room. Please wait for the microphone to reach you before asking a question. Now joining us are members of the national champions, LSU Tigers, head coach Jay Johnson, student athletes Anthony Eyanson, Chase Shores, and Chris Stanfield. Gentlemen, congratulations on capturing the national championship. Coach, if you want to start with an opening statement.
I'll do my best. Unbelievable. I'm so proud right now. It's not to be taken for granted. Being here 2 years ago, that was special. Greatest night of my life. This is equal and maybe even tops in some ways. It was probably a year ago today. We had 12 players in our program that actually played on the field for us in 2024. 12. That's not a lot. And then, as Coach Bertman would say, we ended up with some really good fortune. We had to go to work. We got the really talented freshmen through the high school draft or through the Major League Baseball draft. And in a month's time, we were able to add Chris, we were able to add Anthony, Zach Cowan, Luis Hernandez, Danny Dickinson, to those 12 guys, which were the right 12 guys. And not included in that 12 is Chase Shores. And you don't get to this podium, you don't get to this moment without a lot of things going right over a long period of time. Chase Shores is the first real dude high school player that committed to us when I accepted the job. And I think this is appropriate to have these three players here. They are exactly what this team was, which is our motto for the year was tough and together. And I've never seen a team more mentally tough and consistent. I mean, we went through probably the hardest schedule in college baseball, and we had one hiccup, one. I mean, we're, a little speed bump at Auburn. But other than that, they dominated the season, and they dominated the schedule. And it is talent, but it is character. I mean, I can't even picture my life for our program without a Chris Stanfield, a Chase Shores, and an Anthony Eyanson. We were a little behind on Chris, and somehow he had the faith. We hit it off pretty quick, built a pretty strong bond, and we're able to get him. And then, I've mentioned this before with Anthony. There's one guy a summer in this crazy new world that we're living in that it's going to tip the scales for you to have an opportunity to be here and do what we just accomplished, and that was Anthony Eyanson. And then Chase Shores, I'm so proud of him. It was a weekend starter on the 2023 national championship team as a freshman. His last pitch of that season was a 97-mile-an-hour fastball that struck somebody out from Tennessee with the box rocket. And then he had to go through the 18-month recovery rehab and persevered through all of that. And there's nobody I would have rather had finish the game tonight for this second national championship than Chase Shores. And I could talk forever and ever about a lot of different things. I would just say these 3 dudes sum up what the 2025 national championship team was. I love you guys. I will do anything for you for the rest of your life. And amazing. You did this. It would not have happened without you, so thank you.
Love you, Coach.
Love you too, Coach.
Okay, we'll now open it up to questions for the student athletes.
Noah Bieniek, 11.7. Chase, Coach kind of mentioned your duration through your LSU career, not necessarily the injury, how you kind of dreamt of it happening, but what does it mean to you to be on the mound for the final out of the College World Series National Championship?
Yeah, it means everything. Being a part of that 23 team was special, but just to play a part in this run in Omaha was, a dream come true, and I wouldn't trade it for the world, and I'm just super thankful to do it with great teammates like Chris and Anthony.
Michael Cobble, WBRZ TV in Baton Rouge for Anthony. And Chris, if you don't mind, we'll start with Anthony. The idea that you guys were battle tested coming into this thing, right? And you've seen probably a little bit of everything. Obviously, the first inning in this one got off to a little wild, wacky start, but then you had to settle in and play ball for 8 more innings, I guess. Just speak to the resilience and kind of the understanding that this thing was a long way from being over.
Yeah, like you said, we've been tested all year. I was just waiting for adversity to hit me in the game. Right when that happened, I knew that that's when I put my pedal to the metal and just push a little bit more, and just continue to fight for the team. And just to know that I got guys behind me that obviously, we just won this thing, so they're pretty good at baseball. But they just did their job behind me, so super grateful for that.
Yeah, I said, we've been tested all year. We've been through some ups and downs, and there's no one I would do it with besides this team. Like, it's been amazing. It starts at the top with Coach Johnson and the staff, and just keeping us ready and prepared day in, day out. When we went down 1-0, like, that's really nothing for us because we know the whole game's ahead of us, and we got the best team.
Anthony, now that you're a national champion, what did that Little Rock win, the last one, do for your guys' confidence?
Yeah, I think we were confident before that, but I think just coming back from that game really showed us what we were about. Obviously, they played very well that weekend, and just us staying to our plan and our approach and just continuing to be ourselves really helped us out going forward.
Aaron Fitt, D1 Baseball. Anthony, I assume when you made the decision to come to LSU that winning a national championship was a major reason behind that decision. Now that you're here, I mean, how does this compare to maybe what you dreamed it might feel like?
Yeah, I remember hugging my parents right now with the natty hat and shirt on. When I dreamed about this place, and even on my visit, just looking at all the history on the wall, this is what I dreamed of, literally, throwing pitches, starting the game for the final game of the national championship. So just super grateful for Coach Johnson for giving me the opportunity, and thankful for God, obviously.
Hey, Glenn Gilbo, Tiger Rag. Chase, what were you thinking when you came in? You went to a tough situation there. They got close. Just how was your heart pounding? What was going through your mind?
Yeah, I was just trying to take it one pitch at a time. I just kept thinking about my teammates. Just really wanted to get the job done for them, and I feel like when you try to do something for your teammates, it kind of takes the pressure off of you, and it just allows me to go in there and focus on the job.
Jacob Render, Baseball America. For all three of you guys, what does Coach Johnson do to bring this group together and get you guys to this point, especially with so many new faces in the building this year?
Yeah, I'll start. He's the man. Like, I say that all the time, but like, we come in and we know, what our jobs are, and he lays it out for us and makes it very, very easy to understand. So for us to just go out there and be ourselves and play our game, like that's what LSU is.
For sure. Yeah, I'm super thankful for Coach Johnson. I've really appreciated these past 3 years, and like Chris said, he's the man. He outlines everything before every game, and kind of just makes our job a lot easier because he, says what's going to happen before the game, and we just got to go out there and execute.
Yeah, it feels like a movie when he talks about the lineup before the game, talking about everybody's role, how they can contribute to scoring runs on the offensive side. Is fun to watch, but nobody more prepared, obviously, than Coach Johnson. He puts in so much work that none of us see, just preparing the team and preparing the coaching staff to, tackle any obstacle.
Michael Pojik, LSU Sports. Chris, talk about that 2 RBI single, giving you guys the lead, kept the lead after that. Kind of just talk about that, your thought process going up to the plate.
Yeah, I went up there with a clear mind, and like Chase said earlier, I was just trying to do it for the guys. It was 1-1 at the time, and I knew if I came through, it'd put us on top. And, it was really just getting a good pitch and putting a good swing on it, like, all year.
For Chase and Anthony, I think we can all agree Jay's the man. But how about Nate as well? The job that crew has done developing pitchers, right, and making this place a place that pitchers want to come pitch at. I guess you two can speak to different, avenues. But what have you seen in the development in both of your games and Cade's game, that really has established LSU as maybe the place to be for pitchers?
Coach Jesse's great. He holds us to a really high standard. He always says he's coaching us for the player he thinks we're going to be rather than the player we are right now. So, yeah, just holding us to the higher standard just allows us to go out there and, just work really hard and do our job.
Yeah, just like Coach Johnson, he works day in and day out, so much time that nobody sees. Just helping the pitching staff find out who they are as pitchers, and I think that's the most important going forward, trying to figure out your identity as a pitcher. And he just does a really good job of being really transparent with everybody.
For Chris and Anthony, when you guys were in the transfer portal and Coach Johnson is giving his pitch to you guys, what did he pitch, and then how did he execute on that recruiting pitch?
Yeah, in June we were on the phone and he told me, do you want to come play for the best program in the country? And that was a no-brainer. So, but after that, just really belief and communication's really been the biggest. Just coming here, knowing the main goal, playing at LSU. There were already 7 of them, so why not get another?
Yeah. I just remember Coach Johnson calling me. I was still waiting to wake up from my dream. I didn't really believe it until I talked to him on the phone. But he would just text me every day, sending me pictures of the pinstripe jerseys. That's why I wore them, honestly. Just telling me Friday night, carving dudes, 24. What number do you want? 24. It's yours. Just super persistent, and credit to him. He made it clear that this is the place to be.
We have time for one more question for the student athletes, if anybody has one.
Chase, Jace talked about the story a couple times, but you decommitted from a school before coming to LSU. What was sort of your thought process behind that decision? And then again, how did he sort of execute the plan that Jay laid out for you up to today?
Yeah, pretty similar to Chris and Anthony. Coach Johnson just made me feel wanted. He was really persistent in the way he was recruiting me. Same thing. What number do you want? Number 34. Just kind of executing and telling me everything that was going to happen in my freshman season, and it did happen. We won a national championship, and I think once you get to campus, he keeps recruiting you because that's just the coach he is. He's a great coach, and I'm really thankful I ended up coming to LSU.
Hey, Anthony, Chase, Chris, congratulations once again. Enjoy the celebration, and thanks for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Let's go, boys.
Made it happen.
Love you.
Okay, at this time, we'll open it up to questions for Coach.
Rogers D1 Baseball. Jay, when you and I talked in the fall, you had a pretty good feeling about this team, particularly from an offensive standpoint. Just what are your thoughts on how this season progressed offensively? And also, I remember you saying, hey, if this Eyanson guy pans out, we're going to be really good. And he panned out pretty good.
Yeah, he's all right. I think it was unique. It was a new team, but I felt like I developed really good feel for it quickly. And it was a style of player that fit maybe the totality of my career a little bit better than what we had last year. And I mean, we sent 13 dudes to pro baseball after winning the 23 national championship. And it's hard to overcome when you lose that talent. But it clicked. Chris, very dynamic player, and he didn't have a great season at Auburn the year before, but I liked him. I liked how competitive he was. I liked the athlete, and we felt like we could help him get better. He did. Danny is probably the star, guy that we brought in, and the person just far exceeds the player. I mean, he's so competitive. He's been playing with a broken hand since the first game of the NCAA tournament. Listen to what I just said. He broke his hamate bone in the game. He hit 2 homers in the first game of the NCAA tournament and just got 5 hits in Omaha, and we went 10-1. I mean, if that is not toughness, I don't know what is. So massive hats off. And then guys got better. Stephen Milam got better, especially down the stretch. Jake Brown got better. Jared Jones got better. And that's what happens. I mean, we can't promise that we're going to win 2 titles in 3 years and you're going to get to play in Omaha, especially going through the SEC. But I do promise them that they will be better players. And nobody does a better job of that than our staff. And I mean, going off of Michael's question, if you're a pitcher and you don't want to come here right now, you're out to lunch. You're not thinking clearly. Because that's 3 dudes that pitched in this series that are all going to be in the major leagues within 18 months. And the offensive side, that's kind of my baby, and I take pride in it. And it's just a nonstop effort of player development. And then as far as Anthony, he kind of tricked me a little bit in the fall, but now I get it. He knew he was good, and he was kind of pacing himself for this run. Then we don't win the championship without him. And I mean, it got maybe overshadowed a little bit by Cade, but I think he won 12 games too. That's a lot in today's college baseball. Wins the first game of the NCAA tournament, closes out the regional final, grinds out a win in the Super, gets us off to a good start here against UCLA, and then wins the national championship game. And I could tell pretty quick today it was going to go good for him, and he deserved to be on the mound for the winner today.
Coach, right over here. When you're putting together this team and you're flying across the country, trying to do it through the transfer portal and even with the high school guys, how crazy was that? And what was your plan going in, maybe not your simplified plan, but your plan going in to try to find the right guys for you?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think I knew we had really good players coming back. It just wasn't a lot of volume. I knew big man was going to get back and be healthy, and that was going to be a huge shot in the arm to the pitching staff. Might have been here 3 years in a row if he would have been healthy, and never had gotten hurt. I really believe that would have been possible if you add him to, what we had last year with Luke Coleman and Gage Jump. But 2 years in a row, in 23, we had 13 players drafted. That's an SEC record. Not an LSU record, an SEC record. Last year, I believe we had 8 pitchers drafted, another SEC record. That's a lot to replace over a 2-year period. And maybe it's why I'm just so proud of this thing. This is a completely different team. As far as putting it together, I felt like we were a little short last year, and it wasn't by much. But it was just a little short of being able to win any type of game. And in matchup, we didn't quite match up the way we needed to against, Tennessee won it last year against, them or maybe some of the other, best teams in the country. But it wasn't by much. And I just went and did what I did to give us the opportunity to do this. And it's not like you're not trying every day of your life. It's just sometimes it doesn't work out, It's kind of funny story now, but Nate Snead, who's the best reliever in college baseball the last 2 years, we eliminated Tennessee. He went on a visit to Tennessee while we were playing Florida for the championship. He was supposed to come on a visit a couple days later. Never came. He committed to Tennessee. That's just how it goes. I can't control being in the finals 2 of the last 3 years and losing some recruiting days. It's just wild how it goes. But Chris, Danny, Zach Cowan, little bit of luck. We're playing Wofford. And I'm scouting Zach Cowan, going how did we land on this dude? This is who we're going to face in the first game of the regionals. And luckily they didn't pitch him because he'd thrown 800 pitches in the conference tournament. But he goes in the portal, and it's I'm not asking Nate, I'm not asking Jamie, I'm not asking anybody. This dude is coming to LSU. And we got him. And 5 1/3 against Arkansas is the most talented team in the country this year. And we're one of the best, the first team all-SEC reliever. We just hit on the right players that were 1,000% the right people. And you have to have, you can't do it. You can't do that without all of that. And we feel very lucky and fortunate that these dudes picked us. And what a season.
We have time for one more question for Coach.
You can do a couple more. It's okay. Yeah.
I
We just won
agree.
the national championship. Aaron Fitt's one of my best friends. He was nice to me before anybody even knew who I was in college baseball.
Good call. Coach, Kate Anderson from last year to this year, and then throughout this year, same thing with Anthony and Chase got better, and other pitchers got better as the year went on. How valuable was it to have your Nate Yeske for 2 years, the first guy you had for 2 years as pitching coach?
Yeah, he's amazing. Second year at Arizona, we made it to Omaha. Second year at LSU, we won the national championship. So I mentioned why pitchers should want to come here. Oregon State, Arizona, Texas A&M, LSU. So all you college baseball historians, find me another pitching coach that's gone to Omaha with 4 different programs. Now double national championship, Oregon State and LSU. And big leaguers and All-Americans and all that. Nate is the best pitching coach in college baseball. And we've led the country in strikeouts 2 years in a row. I think it really speaks for itself. And I'm proud of him. He's a friend and loyal, hardworking, and he's really good at what he does. And if you're a pitcher out there, high school or portal, you should want to come pitch here, largely because of Nate Yeske. And then Jamie Tetko is our director of pitching development and analytics and has helped take this thing to a new level as well. So we got it all. And I'm just really proud of that side of the ball. We had to elevate the talent in the LSU baseball program on the mound when I took over here and we have, and we've executed it, developing them as good as I ever would have dreamed of or imagined.
Thanks for taking extra questions, Coach.
We stay here all night. We just won the national championship.
Noah Bieniek of 11.7. Every at-bat during the College World Series when Michael Braswell came up, LSU baseball fans, standing applause. He made great defensive plays throughout the finals. Tallies a hit today. A statement on maybe Braswell's performance in the finals and also LSU fans.
Well, we don't win the game last night without his defense. I mean, we lose the game without his defense last night. And I was looking hard at it. Tanner's a good player, too, and he helped us get here. But, you know, on just the offensive platoon side, it probably would have made more sense to play Tanner against Flukie and Morrison. But just with the pressure that Coastal puts on you with the inside game, we just felt like we had to play him. And there was a lot of pull side ground balls against Cade throughout the season. And so we have a meeting where we kind of talk through the lineup, and that one I just put on the board, and somebody tried to raise their hand. I was like, no, this is what we're doing tonight. And then they came back and said, good decision, Coach. And then today, awesome. Sack bunt, I believe, walk, and a base hit. And I'm really happy for him because when he came here, he didn't talk about pro base, but he talked about getting to Omaha. And then I kind of fist bumped him the first game when we got here, and he's like, well, we're here, and let's win it now. And he contributed a lot to that.
Coach, congratulations. Back to Shores for a second here. I mean, because, you know, we all know the kind of prodigious talent that he is and that it wasn't a straight path to get to this point. And, you know, it would be easy maybe to lose trust if a guy's struggling with the strike zone, but you guys kept going back to him and put him in position to get to this point. I'm curious, first of all, what was the key to getting that out of him, this kind of trustworthiness at the end of a game, and what did it mean to you for him to have this moment?
Yeah, the talent is uncoachable. I mean, it's 99, 100. It's what they look like on TV at Fenway Park, Yankee Stadium, Wrigley Field, Petco Park. That's where he'll spend his life because he's got that ability. He missed a lot of development time. Like, I threw him right into the rotation on, again, one of the best teams in college baseball history because I wanted to get mileage on his tires to get that talent to become the skill that we're all seeing now. And then he got hurt, unfortunately, and missed all that time. And then this year, to be honest, he didn't pitch great, like going into the season and our scrimmages and all that type of stuff. But I felt like we had a good enough offense. We had good enough supporting pieces. We decided to start him because I wanted him to get that experience. And he had some success and he had some failures. But I felt like we got the development time in, and then we put him in a role that there's nobody better for that role. And then he had a couple speed bumps. He was pretty good. He had a couple speed bumps, but he had a bad outing in the regionals, the game we lost to Little Rock. And the response from that to what we saw against West Virginia and then the 4 games here, man, it meant a lot to see him on the mound because this just doesn't happen overnight, and it didn't happen last summer. I mean, that's like October of 2021, you know, where he chose to come to LSU. And because of the injury, it took a long time to get to this point, but very well worth it.
Jay, if I could get one about the game, you guys had base traffic, I don't know, like 16 out of the 18 innings, I think. Just your ability to work in and around that. You kind of mentioned the importance of the defense, but just to be able to navigate that and only give up 2 bombs.
Yeah, I think I'm looking at the stat sheet. We only walked 1. We had the 1 hit by pitch. And we laid out a pretty clear plan of what we needed to do to beat this team. Congratulations to Coach Nall and Coastal. To win 26 games in a row is insane. We won 17 at one point this year. Didn't feel like we lost for like 2 months. 26 is ridiculous. And it took the best team in the country to beat them. I mean, LSU is the best team in the country this year, not just the national champion. But Anthony, that's what he does, you know. And, you know, they were talking about how we map out the game, and for him, it was simple. Close in the first inning. Like, if he usually gets through the first, he's special. So it was like, you're the closer in the first inning. And then do what you do, which is get better as the game goes along. And there is nobody better in baseball at pitching with runners on base than Anthony Eyanson. And I just didn't feel like we ever allowed them to have momentum in the 2 games. It's like this. It's like in football. they were in 3rd and 8 the whole time because we did a good job keeping the leadoff guy on base, and when we got a base runner on, we immediately got the next guy out.
Jacques Doucet, WAP-TV in Baton Rouge, talking to Josh Jordan on the field. He said winning is addictive. Like this feeling you're feeling right now, is this what you chase? Is this what everyone chases? And is this what brings you back? Obviously impacting young people, and you love the game of baseball, but this feeling right now, how do you describe it?
Yeah, this is different. I mean, the first one was the first one, and I felt like in coming here to LSU, I felt like I could help that group of players in the second year that we were here do that. And we needed to add Skeens, White, those guys. But I felt like I could help Trey Morgan be a better player and, Jordan Thompson be a better player. And so that was kind of that. This was just, I'm so proud of how this team went about their business. Because, again, I mean, these guys are really smart, and they know the pro prospects that some of these guys are. I think I might have even called Kendall, and he rated us like 3 in the preseason or 4. I'm like, man, are you sure? That seems pretty high, just because you didn't know, because it was so many new pieces. But they performed like national champions every single day of this. We had a great fall. They did what they needed to do in December. We had a great lead up to the season, the 4 weeks leading up to the season, great in the non-conference. I mean, our league is so tough. Like, I mean, going 19-11 feels like amazing. You know what I mean? And then tournament time's our time. Tournament time's our time, and they were amazing in the NCAA tournament.
What was your reaction, Scooter Hobbs, Lake Charles, American Press? What was your reaction to seeing your counterpart get tossed in the first inning?
Yeah, that's my friend too, and somebody I have great respect for. I didn't have any reaction because I was so locked into what we needed to do in the game. And I was ejected for arguing balls and strikes this year, and they don't like that when you argue balls and strikes. And I'm not sure really what happened. I saw the first base coach arguing, and then he came out, and I don't know what was said, and don't want to get into any of that. This is a tough situation, but I literally moved past it immediately because, I needed to be locked in on what our players needed from our coaching staff.
Jacob Runner, Baseball America. Is there a common thread between these teams that you've had over the last couple of years that allows you guys to have this level of success repeatedly, even with so many new faces every year?
Character, 100% character. And it manifests itself in different ways. The first one was real trust and buy-in. And, hey, man, I'm some dude from California, and that probably wasn't going to work in Louisiana unless the players trusted what we were going to do, and we did, and we made it happen in 2 years. And then this one, I think that happened a little quicker because of what we had done to developing guys for pro baseball. Grant Taylor and Paul Gervais just got called up here in the last 2 weeks, and Trey's on the way, and Jacob Berry's close. That's what they want to do. And there's nobody better at helping guys do that than the coaching staff at LSU. So these guys, I think it was more about we just hit on exactly what we needed from the person and the player standpoint. There was no mistakes. Like a guy like Eddie Yemen, he didn't play one play all year. In the dugout, in the bullpen, phenomenal. And this was like an all-conference player at another school. Phenomenal. So we just got the right guys on the bus.
We're going to take one more question.
Michael Poggi, LSU Sports. You talk about your relationship with Skip Bertman. He made it here today for the championship, 8th in school history. What did that mean to you for him to be here, and what was that conversation like at the end of the game?
Yeah, first off, the local people have probably heard me say this, but literally the best part of me being the head coach at LSU has been the relationship that I have with Coach Bertman. Far and away is the best part of being the coach at LSU is the relationship that I have with Coach Bertman. He wouldn't argue with me. I would say the 2 national championships are up there tied for first with that, and I think he'd be okay with that. But he came into the coach's locker room today, and I knew he was coming, but it was still it caught me off guard for a second, and I was like, oh, we're winning today. The man with the magic is in the house. And then he started talking what we were going to do for the celebration. I was like, Coach, this is a pretty good team that hadn't lost in 2 months, so we got to try to figure out to beat. But he's the best, and I think it's so awesome that he's here and that he got to share in this championship game.
Coach, we appreciate your time. Congratulations once again.
Thank you very much. Good job.
Hammond Communications will